Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama strategy session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama strategy session. Tell me if you resonate with this. You are rushing out the door. You need to be in the car in 30 seconds, and you have a child who's having a hard time, who is not liking the shirt that they're wearing, wants to change, can't find a shoe, the socks don't feel right, the water bottle is not filled up, and you're starting to feel tense. You're starting to feel really frustrated, and then you're starting to feel angry, and then you react in ways that you wish you didn't. Maybe you grab your kid's arm really hard and you shove him in the car and just drag him to the car. Maybe you scream, maybe you yell, maybe you physically hurt them. Maybe you threaten to take things away and give consequences, and you get in the car and you just feel terrible about the way that you handled the circumstance. Does this resonate with you? If it does, I want to say that I've been there too. I've done that too. I wanted to do an episode about time pressure and running late and how that is a trigger for us as moms oftentimes, and how we can make changes to support ourselves proactively, and what can we do in the moment so we respond in a way that we are proud of. I don't know if you know this, but I have this wonderful resource for you available. It's completely free. If you scroll down in the show notes to the next steps section, it is number 1. It is going to my website and signing up for a free training. And it's 5 steps to break free from mom rage shame. or you can go to endmomshame.com and it's going to lead you to the sign up page. If you experience shame and remorse after reacting and screaming at your kids, and you just feel like a terrible mom, like such a failure, you have so much negative self-talk, and the enemy is just consuming you with shameful thoughts, this training is for you. It's a 5-step process that I use with my clients and with myself when I lose my cool and I just feel so much remorse or just feel really like guilty for saying things or just reacting in anger. Thankfully, I'm in a place where it still happens once in a while, but not that often compared to what it used to. And I'm here to support you on this journey. And I have that step-by-step process for you. So if you go to the show notes, step 1, and the next step section, you're going to have a link for you to sign up. So I wanted to do this episode because this is something I've been thinking about for a long time and just resisting for a very long time. Pardon my voice. I am getting over sickness. Because this is a trigger like the time pressure and running late. I have like 2 main triggers that really, really trigger me. And one of them is time pressure and running late. And then the other trigger is interruptions. When I'm trying to focus and my kids come to me and when I'm trying to do something that I want to do or like focus on this work, which is so ironic, right? And then my kids come to me and they want me or need me for some reason and I need to pause what I'm doing. That's another trigger, which I will do an episode on that in the future. So subscribe to this podcast if that's something you want to learn how to master. But today I'll be talking about time pressure and running late. And we have this scenario quite often in our home in the mornings when we're trying to get out the door in the morning. And I have a child it's the one child that typically has a hard time. He's having a hard time in the morning. Typically, he doesn't like how his shorts feel. And then that triggers him into not liking how the socks feel when he puts the shoes on, and he will fling off the shoe. And then he will resist to go out to the car, and we are running behind to go to school. And then my oldest son, who wants to get to school earlier because he's in middle school, wants to hang out with his friends, gets really upset and triggered, keeps coming in the house several times. Come on, guys, let's go. Why is this taking so long? Which is contributing to the other kiddo feeling like more rushed, and then he's having even more resistance. And it's creating this cycle. And so this is something that I resonate with a lot. Like, I hate time pressure. Like, it just does not make me, some people say, oh, I work better under time pressure. Like, I just get things done faster. For me, it just creates stress. And it just makes me feel more triggered. And I do not enjoy it. And a lot of it is in my mind, what I'm thinking about it in that moment. And so I want to talk to you about a verse today that I think is going to resonate to this episode. Maybe not directly, but it will. And it's Proverbs 15:1, which says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a grievous words stir up anger. And how I want to tie this verse into this episode, it is, what do we say in those moments when we are trying to rush out the door? Do we have an angry reaction towards our children? Does it make the circumstance worse and stirs up more anger? Or do we have a soft answer and soft words? And it all comes back to what we're thinking and what's in our hearts. And what's in our hearts is what is in our mind, right? Our heart and mind, that's what the Bible refers to. When it talks about our heart, it's talking about our mind, what we're thinking, what thoughts are we thinking. And so one of the thoughts that is contributing to time pressure, and that's contributing to me feeling more flustered and frazzled and more frustrated. Let's say we're trying to get to church on time or trying to get to school on time. Those are the biggest things that really a regular reoccurrence where I would be rushing or running behind. And the thought would be, well, what are people going to think about me if we come to school late? And then the teachers will be upset that we get to school late, that we have to sign the kids in. What are people going to think? Just kind of worried about what people would think. The other one comes back to having that pressure when I was a child in my family. We had 6 kids. My dad liked to go get to places early, and my mom had a tendency of running late. and my dad would constantly rush us out the door, and then he would go and sit in the car and wait, and kept like coming in once in a while, telling everybody to get in the car, and feel really frustrated. And my mom kept trying to get everybody out the door. And so that's just the dynamic we had. And something that I'm going to mention later that could be helpful in circumstances like that, when there's like, if you like to get to places on time and you have a child or a spouse that likes to run behind or has a tendency to run behind, what can you do to help them? And so my husband also likes to be places on time. And so those are like the pressures that I feel from my husband. And then like my childhood when I was growing up, my dad constantly wanting to be places on time and early. And I actually prefer to get places early, but I have a tendency of running behind and then feeling frazzled and feeling frustrated and even like upset with myself that I didn't support myself ahead of time and that like we're running behind. And it's like my mind is telling me, oh, we have enough time. Oh, we have enough time. Oh, yeah, we have plenty of time. And then it's like, oh, we have 30 minutes. And then I'm like a Sunday morning feeling like frazzled and like running with like a chicken with my head cut off. And it's like I'm creating my own stress. I don't know if you resonate with. So one of the things that we can do, and that is proactively. And I'll list a few things here that will be helpful. So proactively, what can you do to make the mornings go smoother? So one of them, obviously, is prep ahead of time. So is it like for kids to get out the door? Like if you make lunches, make the lunches the night before and prep the snacks, get the water bottles filled up, do what you need to do, set the shoes by the front door, have the backpacks, ready by the front door. Like my kids go to school. That's why I'm saying that. Like if you have a baby that you're taking to daycare, have the diaper bag ready the night before and, the formula or whatever. The other thing is, as a mom, I highly encourage you to get up before your kids. And I talk about this on my podcast many times, but having an hour preferably up before your family to have you some time to spend time with the Lord, have some time to be slow a little bit, have like at least a little bit of breakfast, get yourself ready for the day. That allows you to feel like grounded and not frazzled. So getting up early and allowing yourself the time to actually get ready. Have your breakfast ready the night before, like overnight oats or something, or know what you're at least making for breakfast the next morning and like knowing, oh, this is going to take me this much time, like French toast or something, or a smoothie. Those are things that we have for breakfast. So I kind of have an idea how long it's going to take me. Like a smoothie, it's going to take me about 10 minutes, but then my kids can drink it in the car, if anything. Another thing is getting the kids up early enough for them to get ready, because sometimes we're like, oh yeah, 30 minutes is enough to get the kids up ready, eat the breakfast and get them out the door. And you keep noticing you're running behind. Well, maybe your kids, maybe someone else's kids, 30 minutes is enough, but your kids need more time. And certain kids maybe like to be woken up slowly and then having some time to like just kind of take it slow. I know I don't like to be rushed in the mornings or getting out the door. And I know I have a couple kids that do not like to be rushed. One of my kids works pretty well under pressure, but the other two, they get out the door. They need that time to just take it slow. And so how much time would you need? Like for my kids, we need an hour for them to get up in the morning, to be able to do their morning chore, brush their teeth, eat their breakfast, and just have enough margin to get out the door. Another thing is that you can set an alarm or a timer, like an alarm on your phone that goes off what time you need to go to the car. So if you need to be in the car at 7:30, maybe you have an alarm that goes off at 7:15. Okay, it's time to go to the car, or 7:20, and give yourself enough margin to like transition time. Just because, again, I gave you a scenario earlier. You'll have a kiddo that can't find the shoes, or can't find their homework, or can't find their glasses, or thought of something last minute that they need for school. So like having that margin is really, really helpful. And like that is something I've learned, and we have like an alarm that goes off that helps us get in the car at a specific time. And just maybe even have like one of those responsible kiddos. If you have one of those in your family, like it's my oldest one, be like, okay, like for him, I'm like, okay, it's time to go to the car. Take the toddler, the 3-year-old, go put her shoes on, take her to the car and buckle her in. Like, if you want to get to school earlier, this is how you can help me. And that is something that he does that makes the morning a little bit easier and allows me to help the other kiddos. One of these things we talk about doing proactively. Why? So they lower your stress and increase your capacity, because when you are under a lot of stress, that all decreases your emotional capacity. So if you want to have a more emotional capacity, one of the things that you need to do is lower your stress levels proactively. And those things that I mentioned earlier, prepping things ahead of time, like the diaper bag and the lunches and the water bottles, getting up earlier, having breakfast ready the night before, or knowing what you're making, having things set out, at least like on the counter, or at least having an idea what you're doing. Getting the kids up earlier, setting an alarm that goes off on your phone when to get in the car, asking older kids for help with the younger ones, giving yourself margin. All of those things lower your stress levels so you don't feel as anxious and frazzled, and it gives you more emotional capacity when things aren't going your way. So also another thing to keep in mind is that young kids do not get the concept of time until they get older. And really, like about 8 and up. And then the other part is like, if it doesn't really matter to them to get there on time, they're really not going to care. Like, yes, you can tell them, but the truth is, like, let's say your kid, my oldest son, he really wants to get to school early because he wants to hang out with his friends. Well, I don't really care about him hanging out with those friends, in the sense, like, it doesn't make my day any better. That's what I mean. Like, yes, I care about him, but it doesn't make my day any better for him to go hang out with his friends. So it's not really important to me. So realistically, my mind doesn't really care. I have to intentionally choose for my mind to care and have the sympathy and empathy towards him, right? And so like, that is something to keep in mind, that kids don't understand the concept of time. And unless it's really important to them, they really don't really care that you want to get somewhere at a certain time. And so knowing that is going to help us not feel as triggered when you keep that concept in mind. The other thing is you need to figure out what you're going to say and do ahead of time before the triggering moment comes. There is a really wonderful phrase from the book Triggers that I will link in the show notes by Amber Leah and Wendy Speak. Actually, Wendy Speak has been on my podcast before, and I will link that podcast episode before in the show notes. They have such a great chapter in their book about disrespect and how to handle it. And they have this phrase in there that I really, really like. And it says, figure out what you mean to say before you say something mean. So if you find yourself saying mean things to your kids, when you feel frustrated and angry, you need to teach yourself what you're going to do differently. If you know what you don't want, I don't want to yell. I don't want to say bad words. I don't want to hurt my kids with my words. I don't want to be rough. Well, what do you want? How do you want to handle it? You got to teach your brain how to handle things in a positive way. And we teach that when we work together in my coaching container. I teach you how to rewire your brain practically and actually respond in a better way during triggering moments. So we're going to talk about how to have a soft answer when you feel triggered and you're running out the door with the kids and things feel tense. How to have a soft answer. Number 1 is you pray. You invite God to help you. And when you start feeling that tension, you look at that time and you know that you're running out the door. Maybe it's better not to even look at the clock. When you know you are running late, maybe it's better not to look at the clock because it's contributing to your trigger and feeling more frazzled. But you pray, say, God, I really need your help right now. I pray that you give me the wisdom how to handle this tricky situation with the kids. I also pray that you help my kids cooperate so we can get in the car quicker and get out the door faster. And you just invite God into the process for him to be alongside you as you are handling this tricky situation. Number 2 is you need to shift your thoughts. And we work a lot on that in my coaching program. You have 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them are negative and 95% of them are repetitive. You will have a lot of negative thoughts. For example, Again, he is making me late. We can't get there on time. Why is he doing this to me? Like all these negative thoughts that creep in when you're rushing. What are people going to think about me? Now we're late again. We can never get there on time. All of those thoughts are contributing to you feeling more frustrated, more angry. He's not cooperating. He's making this hard. You feel more frustrated. And your actions are probably unkind, rough, maybe even aggressive and ungodly. And if you want to have godly responses and gentle responses with your kids, you need to shift your thoughts, what you're choosing to think. And here are some wonderful in the moment thoughts that will support you. So that if you want to take notes, this is the time to take notes. And this is specifically that will help you for when you feel triggered when you are going out the door with your kids. One of them is I want to get there on time instead of I need to get there on time. One where I have to get there on time. And when we have the need and the have to, there's so much more pressure that we put on ourselves and so much more urgency, and we feel even more frustration versus I want to get there on time. Do I have to get there on time? No, I want to get there on time. This is what I want. And what can I do to make things happen so we get there on time, or at least close to that, right? I want to. I want to allows you to stay more regulated versus I need to, I have to. That puts pressure. And when we have need to, have to, we have more resistance towards it and we have less cooperation. Even when you tell our kids, I have to get you out the door at this time. You need to get in the car. That is a really tricky one for me. I have a really hard time with this. I've been working on this intentionally. My coach taught me this shift, a mindset shift, where I say to myself, I want to get there on time instead of I have to or I need to. The other thing is, another mindset shift is I tell myself how I handle this is more important than getting there on time. How I handle this scenario with my kids is more important than getting there on time. Because it really is. It's more important. And that allows your brain to calm down instead of feeling more triggered. Another one is I have time for this, or I can make time for this because this is important to him. I have time for this. Your mind might be screaming, no, I don't have the time for this. I want to get out, because the truth is, there's very few things that we really have to be there on time. Like if we get to the airport late, we'll miss a flight. Those are or an appointment to the doctors or something. Those are really the bigger things. But most of the times we can, or going to work, you might feel a little bit more pressure with the kids. But the truth is, chances are you're probably not going to get fired. Yes, it's unpleasant that you're running late. And you will have time for your children, because really, what is more important 20 years from now? Your kids are more important. I have time for this. I can make time for this. The other perspective that is really helpful in mindset shift is he is having a hard time. Are your kids resisting you or having a meltdown when you need to get out the door because they want to, or is it because they're having a hard time? Maybe your mind is telling you, oh, they're doing this to me. Again, they're throwing a tantrum. They won't let me get there on time. And that's your victim mentality or your victim perspective. And I want to challenge you. When you are having a meltdown, when you are screaming at your kids, is it because you want to, or is it because you're having a hard time? Having the perspective he's having a hard time allows you to have compassion and curiosity. And thinking what does he need right now? How can I help him? He's having a hard time. Another one is I choose to slow down. I'm choosing to slow down and help my child and be present. It is okay for us to be a little late. I'm choosing to slow down. So those are really great mindset shifts that I want to be there on time. I don't have to. I don't need to. I want to. How I handle this is more important than me getting there on time. Number 3 is I have time for this, or I can make time for this. Number 4 is he is having a hard time. And number 5 is I choose to slow down. Like, I have a question for you. Like, when you are feeling frazzled, when you are rushing to get out the door and you are just having a hard time, what would be helpful for you? For somebody to help you. Like, if your husband came alongside you instead of rushing you, telling you, get out the door faster. Come on, let's go. How can I help you? I see you're having a hard time. How can I help you? That would be so much more helpful. And guess what? You can do that to your kids as well. When your kids grow up, they're not going to remember every single thing that you said and did, but they're going to remember how their home felt. That is something I want you to kind of keep in mind. Your kids will remember how their home felt. And you get to set that tone. So if you lose your marbles daily on your kids, if you feel like you're a drill sergeant, if you scream at your kids when you get out the door and then you get to church and then you pretend that everything is fine, but you know internally that it's not, my friend, I want to help you. Maybe you've tried things on your own. You've tried listening to podcasts, reading books, buying passive courses on anger, and you still feel stuck. You still feel reactive with your kids all the time. You raise your voice constantly. You yell, you scream, you punish, you spank in anger. You find yourself being rough and harsh with your kids. And to the point where you just like want to punch a wall. And maybe you've spanked your kids too hard and then feel so much remorse over this. I want to help you. You don't have to stay like this. There's hope for you. You can change. I have a 12-week coaching program, which is a step-by-step process. My program is 100% money-back guarantee. You either get results or I will give you a full refund at week 12. So I want to tell you that the reason you need a coach and the reason you've tried stuff on your own and it hasn't worked because you don't know what to do. When you have a coach, I give you a step-by-step process and I keep you accountable. I support you every step of the way. You have Monday through Friday access to me through an app called Voxer, and we have weekly coaching calls. And then you have video trainings that you watch weekly with reflection questions that help you do the inner work and reflect on why you're doing what you're doing and what can you do differently. I just want to let you know that I'm here to support you on this journey. I want to walk alongside you. I want to help you. And if you are ready to make changes today, if you're ready to break generational anger, if you're ready to be the mom that brings peace and calm in her home, the one that's going to break generational patterns of anger, then your next step is to book a consultation call with me. And on this call, we're just going to get on the call and have a conversation about where you are at right now. What have you tried that hasn't worked? What's making things really hard? What are your goals? What you want to achieve? And if I feel like my program is a good fit for you, I will invite you to take the next step. And if not, that's totally okay. I will guide you in the right direction if I'm not the right fit for you. My friend, I'm here to support you. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. I'm sure there's another mama in your circle that feels frazzled in the mornings when she tries to get out the door on time with her kids. So please share this episode with her. Thank you so much for being here. I will record an episode for you soon about another trigger, interruptions. When our kids come to us and they interrupt us when we're trying to do something that is important and we need to focus on something. Because that is a trigger that really, that one gets me. And that's one that is definitely still in progress. But I will share with you the things that I've learned that have been helpful for me. Again, it comes back to time. I have a whole issue with time. Time pressure getting out the door and time when your kids come in and interrupt you and they need you. I feel like they're taking up the time that I have focused time dedicated to work or something else. I have a whole thing about time, like in my mind, like feeling like I don't have enough time. So if you resonate with this, then subscribe to this show because I think you're going to find the next episode also really helpful. All right, friend, until next time. Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.